Hello, YouTube. GZTV back with a probably. Does this fit the screen? I don't know. If there's like a little black spot over there, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like tripping out over it. Okay. It's no longer there. It was there in the other video, so my apologies, but the camera's looking good. So let's get into it. We have weekly track roundup. This is the week of March 24th. We were scaring the hose this week, but I couldn't put that in this video because I already did a reaction and review, recorded it, edited it. It's on the channel. It's got like 40 views. Shout out to everyone that has tuned into that. We are just talking about all the tracks that dropped in between, that I thought was worth mentioning. So let's talk about Six Lack. Six Lack dropped a brand new album, Since I Have a Lover. I didn't listen to this whole thing. I listened to a couple of tracks. I mainly wanted to just listen to the Don Toliver track because I'm not a huge Six Lack fan. I know what he does, and I can appreciate what he does for music. He's a pretty solid R&B artist. But, every album Six Lack releases feels like a journal filled with entries about his personal experiences, navigating life's highs, lows, and everything in between. The singer-songwriter popped on the scene with his moody 2016 debut, Free Six Lack, which touched on his shady first record deal with the turmoil and toxicity of past relationships. His vulnerability, honest lyrics, and dark atmospheric beats make him the first artist inducted into Apple Music's Up Next program. On a sophomore LP, East Atlanta Love Letter, Six Lack explored the trials and tribulations of his rising fame, relationships, and fatherhood, including how it led him to reevaluate his life. His highly anticipated third album, Since I Have a Lover, comes after a long-needed break and finds him in a much better headspace than before. Throughout the album's 19 tracks, the Atlanta crooner showcases the other side of his heart by embracing love and finding joy on songs like Since I Have a Lover, One of Them, and B4L, while acknowledging the growth and healing he has undergone to appreciate the lover in his life on songs like Spirited Away and Edgewood Hill Park. So, however, not every song on the project is about his newfound love. Six Lack confesses about his mental health struggles that forced him to seek therapy on Talk, and the life lessons he's learned along the way to where he is now on Talkback. Six Lack's growth is evident not just in lyrics but in sound as well. Since I Have a Lover leaves behind the dark, melodramatic production that listeners have grown to love from him and replaces it with more acoustic guitars and alternative mid-tempo beats reflective of his current mindset. So there you have it. The Don Toliver song was actually pretty good, and I feel like if I went back and listened to this project thoroughly, I actually think I would like it. So, there's that for you. Moving on, Juice WRLD dropped a much-anticipated single, Delight. I talked to a friend of mine who's a Juice WRLD fan, and he said this is a very much-anticipated leak of his, and it goes in a very interesting direction. Juice WRLD, people say all of his songs sound the same and stuff, and he's one of those repetitive rappers, but honestly, this song took it in a whole new direction. And his estate, you can credit his estate for releasing this and giving people the leaks that they want. I'm sure they put a little bit of twist on it. They got some engineers hired to make sure this track is nice and pure and exactly how Juice WRLD would have wanted it. It's a pretty good song. I don't have much to say about it. It's been quite some time since we've gotten some Juice WRLD music. So there's that. Bia and Timbaland get together with I'm That Bitch, which is really cool, and I was about not going to listen to this. Then I was about to skip the song. I started listening to it, and I realized there was a Missy Elliott sample, and I think that's just super dope, and that's cool to pay homage to legendary female rappers, especially since you are a female rapper in the space, and you have that platform to do that. The song was actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Timbaland is an all-time producer. I love what he's done, with artists like Ski Mask in the past, which is funny enough. He sampled the same Missy Elliott sample, so maybe there's a little bit of a connection there. I'm not sure. I don't really have much to say, but Mike Dimes and Jero Kenji get together for Kiss and Tell. Mike Dimes, an artist I have definitely respected over the years coming out of Houston. He has a pretty dope style. Very fun tracks to listen to. Jero Kenji's been highly respected in a lot of communities and in culture. Joe Burrow's giving him the cosign. He's up and coming still, but he's making waves. But in terms of song, it's pretty entertaining. Internet Money drops a new track with Roddy Ricch and Kodak Black, which is really dope. I think Kodak Black and Roddy Ricch collabed on Rocky Road off of one of their albums. I can't remember. But this song's dope, you know. People are saying that Roddy Ricch is getting back to his old style and getting back to making good music. You know, he kind of fell off after the Live Life Fast. And I don't even want to say that because there's no way an artist like this can fall off. He's one of the biggest rappers to come out of Cali in a little bit, you know what I mean? He made some waves. I mean, people don't realize it, but his numbers talk. Like, he has some amazing numbers in the hip-hop world, you know. There's not a lot of Cali rappers recently, maybe like Blueface, that have made songs as big as The Box, you know, ever since like Kendrick Lamar even, you know. But in terms of the song, I mean, Kodak Black had a solid feature. I would say Roddy Ricch went crazy, internet money, getting a lot of dope collabs together. Hit Boy drops a brand new album, Surf or Drown. I listened to a decent amount of them. He has a song with Nas, he has a couple of songs with Dom Kennedy, you know, Currency's on this thing. You get a song with The Alchemist, James Fauntleroy. There's an interesting dynamic here with this Alchemist track. Alchemist and Hit Boy kind of produced for each other on this thing, but yeah. Hit Boy built an untouchable resume based on chameleonic production abilities to craft hits for Ye, Jay-Z, Drake, and Nipsey Hussle, finding success with varying styles. But on 2022 in like 2012 on a solo cut, he showed that he's a capable rapper as well. You know, ever since 2012 when he took up rapping, I mean, he can kind of rap. Lately, he's focused less on singles and more on zoning in with artists he respects. In the past 3 years alone, he's produced entire albums for Benny the Butcher, Dreezy, Pac-Man the Gunman, and Music Soul Child, and an impressive 4 LPs in counting with Nas, which is probably his most respected, his most impressive run of his entire career. His solo album, Surf or Drown, continues to get the best out of collaborators, you know. Guys like Nas and Dom Kennedy, you know, contrasting sped-up soul samples, ephemeral vibes, but he continues to impress as a rapper as well. He confidently trades bars with the elite MCs he enlists and brings a surprising amount of lyrical balances. You know, he's challenging other producers. He laments the relentless cycle of death in hip-hop. He uses the sprawling tracks to speak about old issues with his former good music boss Ye and the impact of his father's incarceration. Hit Boy doesn't only draw greatness out of others, he has something to say himself as well, which is such a dope dynamic and something that's really become prevalent over the years. Producers being able to rap, you know, Hit Boy, Hit Boy, Pierre Bourne, what's the guy's name? Ronnie J. Even DJ Khaled probably rapped a couple of times, you know what I mean? I don't really have much to say about the album. I think the songs are pretty dope. It's cool to see him get a Nas on the record and just keep on running it back. But let's move on because we have a new song with IDK and Rich the Kid. IDK, one of my favorite artists in the game. He's just amazing. And this is just a banger. You know, before this, it's interesting because coming into this track, you know, he's been making like electronic dance music, and now he's going back to his hip-hop roots that really made him big. And he enlists Rich the Kid, and Rich the Kid does a really good job. I think the song's awesome. I think the second half is amazing. I don't really have much to say about it. Next, we have a song with Peasy, Babyface Ray, Ice Revezo, 2 Million Up. I think I've heard this song a couple of times on TikTok. I don't really have much to say about it. We're kind of getting into the undercard of things. So yeah, you know, Lloyd Banks dropped a song with Method Man, which is a really dope collab to get, like, especially up to this point. You know, Method Man is pretty late in his career. Obviously, Lloyd Banks is as well, and that's a really cool collab. Rob 49 and DaBaby, hate it or love it. I mean, Rob 49's always been iffy for me, but he's gotten with some big rappers, so I've decided to check him out a lot more. Victoni has a track with Don Toliver. It's okay. It's international music. I can't really get behind it. It's not like I don't support it. That's not what I'm saying. I kind of worded that wrong, but like, it's not music that I can just really vibe to. I mean, you know, there's artists like Burna Boy and Thames, and there's certain international artists that do a good job, but I don't know. It's difficult. Rucci, Bankroll Got It, and OT Genesis. You know, Rucci and Bankroll Got It dropped a collab album, but I decided to just listen to the track with OT Genesis because OT Genesis has been a pretty big part of like my teenage years in terms of hip hop. He's made a couple of pretty good songs, and I just wanted to appreciate him by listening to this record, and it wasn't bad. It was kind of a funny track. with like the sampling and like the interpolation. Jay Skis dropped an album where he had a Conway the Machine. Man, if you can get Griselda on your album, you're really doing it big. You're doing it right, and he did, and it was a fun listen. It's cool to see Conway the Machine work with rappers that are not as big. You know, obviously, Jay Skis is signed with Empire, but still, like, he's not even in the same hemisphere as Conway the Machine, and Conway the Machine worked with him, and I think that's great. Ian Dior, to close out this video, dropped a new track, Do It All, a slightly under 2 minute punk, kind of like alternative type of banger. I think it's decent. You know, Ian Dior's been taking a long time to make songs recently. I think he's trying to get into a different lane, which I can respect. You know, I don't necessarily hate on that. He's always kind of had that vibe to his music. Yeah, I saw him in concert. He's a pretty cool dude. I don't really feel like disrespecting him. I don't think the song's amazing. I definitely don't think it's that bad, though. Do I have anything to say? Not really. That's all. I might stream tonight on the GZTV Live on Twitch, all lowercase, with my boy Greg. We usually hop on a Grimes and my team. We have March Madness recap coming out tonight. Yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe. GZTV is always giving you guys the best music content. If you guys want to, go check out JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown, the album reaction I did. It's at 52 views. It dropped a day ago. You guys are showing unbelievable support. Really appreciate that out of you guys. So yeah, I just got done watching Walking Dead before this, so we're gonna review that first when I wake up tomorrow.